の父親がどうしたんですか？
彼はなぜ無意味な動画配信を続けているのか。
This episode, oh my fucking god, this episode is, it's got a lot going on. Unlike the previous episodes, this one does not have your, conventional A and B plot. It's just all plot. So, I just gotta get into it. It's fucking crazy. So, quick plot overview. Iki and family decide to celebrate his mom finally getting out of the hospital. She's been there since the end of episode 1. Because of this, Iki goes ahead and tells Vice that, leave me be, just GTFO for this trip. We're gonna have a good time. However, because of this, the family vacation just goes a whole different direction, as it seems like a lot of folks just had different plans in mind for the family. In this corner, we have the disguised dead men, led by the fabulous woman I cannot stop simping after, Aguilera. In the other corner, we have Phoenix, with Hiromi still trying to figure out who evil might be, and the professor still having mysterious reasons. In the third corner, we have Kagero, featuring Mirror Daiji. And finally, the dad from Nin Ninja, and holy fuck, what is this plot? Okay, let's start off with the dead men. Disguised as helpers in the resort, I think it's a resort, they come up with different ways to try and, I guess, kill Iki and family. Of course, most of their attempts get foiled by Kagero, who had other plans in mind. For the most part, a lot of their potential is wasted in this episode, though we did get some nice Aguilera action. Yeah, for the most part, they just feel like a non-factor in this episode. Next, we have Phoenix, and although the professor obviously knows that Daiji is Kamen Rider evil, Hiromi is still left trying to pick the pieces together and figure it out. We did, however, get a nice hot spring scene between the professor and Hiromi, as well as the fellas from the Iki family. Of course, hot spring scenes are very obligatory for most things out of Japan, I feel. Yeah, that sounds right. But this is once again yet another attempt to show us some of that Professor Man meat. I feel like it's obligatory as well. It seems like at least every episode or every other episode, we get some shot of the professor just showing off. Next up, we have Kagero, who pretty much masterminded the whole trip, just to have his grand reveal to the whole family. However, this finally leads to us seeing his henshin transformation sequence. And all I gotta say is, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, who the fuck do I gotta smoke? Because, look, what the fuck is this transformation? The sound effect, the whole eeny, meeny, miny, mo thing, I don't want this belt anymore. Take it off my Amazon queue. Just delete it. I don't want it. Finally, we have the dad from Nin Ninja, God, I forget his name already. He's just the dad from Nin Ninja for me. That's how he's gonna be. That's who he is, the dad from Nin Ninja. But holy fuck, what is this plot line? Out of anybody from the show before that you could have said, there might be evil, I didn't suspect this guy, yet alone his family. This is what completely made my mind just full of fuck the entire episode. So we get shown them, listening in on the family, watching the fights play out. They clearly have some sort of ulterior motive, but I can't surmise whether or not They clearly don't work with the dead men, and they clearly don't work with Phoenix. What their involvement is in general, I'm just completely confused by this and just have so many more questions than we're getting answers. But that's a good thing because, as I mentioned last episode, I just feel that a lot of things are just moving on way too fast. Because this episode did not have an A plot or a B plot, we didn't get a Monster of the Week this week. So instead, we just got some evil on Revi action, and I've been saying Revi this whole time. I know I'd listened in on this episode of the professor calling Revi, and I was like, oh, I fucked up. I've been saying Revi this whole time. Anyway, so we got some evil on Revi action, then some demons on evil action, and then some dead man's on demons action, and the best part, some Sakura on Aguilera action. That's the best part. Give this girl a henshin belt already. I'm just ready for her to become a Kamen Rider. Just give it to me. And we have some swapperoo shenanigans that happens this episode, which leads us to this episode's forms. Revi gets a hold of the Kong Vice stamp, which allows him to transform into Uchukita Forze. With, you know what? I'm not the biggest Forze fan, but I kind of appreciate the way that this costume looks. And I gotta say, they threw in some nice rocket punch action, which, look, I'm a mecha fan as well. I love me some classic super robots, especially things like Mazinger Z. So having some nice rocket punch action, amazing. 10 out of 10. Mwah. Evil gets the Jackal Vice stamp, and he goes through a transformation as well. It's a little bit more subtle, going from like one horn to two horns, but you know what? His Jackal transformation looks way more like a Jackal than Revice's Jackal transformation last episode. So I actually think this one works a lot better for Evil than it does for Revi. And finally, Demons gets some Cg-Licious Legs using the Grasshopper, the Bata Vice stamp. It looks terrible. The CG is a hot mess on this one. There's certain points in which it looks like they clearly distorted his character model. Like someone's just using the skew tool in Adobe Photoshop just to adjust his angles, and it just looks odd. You freeze several shots during that fight scene, and it just looks terrible. Look, this episode is meaty, and not just man meaty. I'm talking thick and dense. There's a lot that happens in this episode, which is why it's honestly, just an experience to watch this episode in general. I spent a long time just trying to compile my thoughts on this episode. This is like probably the fifth time I've had to record this video just because, it's hard to convey everything that happened in here without just, reading off mindless exposition. It's good. I'm left very curious with how they're going to progress from here. Because look, we're only in episode 8, and I keep bringing this up. It's just like the plot is just advancing so exponentially quick that I'm concerned that they're going to get burnt out. But, if they can keep this ride going, then this could be like the next Kamen Rider build, which was an amazing season. So, you know what? If they keep this roller coaster going, I'm in. Honestly, I have not been this excited for something Kamen Rider related in a while when it comes to plot. This episode, honestly, is going to get the Agito A. It's the best episode so far with everything going on with it. If they focus less on having those A Monster of the Week plots going on and focus more on a lot of this story, we can end up with a really amazing show. And look, I can't stop praising this episode. I got Aguilera. I got plot. I got Aguilera. We got some more plot. We got a terrible transformation sequence. But we got Aguilera, as well as some mysteries and some questions that I have going forward. Also, did I mention that we got some Aguilera? So, hey, look, it's got something for everyone, including me. Look, they really did not hold back this episode. And, you know, that's why I'm excited to see next week already. But what do you guys think on this one? Is it the best episode ever because we had Aguilera? No. Is it the best episode of the season yet? Are you excited for next week? Because, look, right now, I'm just pumped and ready to get on to the next episode. Outside of that, I will catch y'all next time. Peace.